Most people have no idea that the last 8 seconds before they fall asleep tonight will completely decide how they feel tomorrow morning. Not their diet, not their exercise, not even how many hours they sleep. Just 8 seconds. And after watching this, you will never waste those 8 seconds again. If you wake up tired, heavy, and unmotivated every single morning, your brain is not broken. It is just following the exact instructions you gave it the night before. Tonight, you are going to give it different instructions. Your brain does not go quiet when you sleep. It goes to work. It processes everything that happened during your day. It organizes your emotions. It decides what to store and what to let go. And the most important moment in all of that, the moment that sets the tone for everything your brain does during the next 6 to 8 hours, is the exact moment you cross from being awake into being asleep. Scientists call this the hypnagogic window. It lasts about 8 to 12 seconds. And in those seconds, whatever emotion is loudest in your mind gets handed directly to your subconscious like a sealed letter. Your subconscious holds that letter all night and uses it as instructions. Most people hand their brain a letter full of stress, replayed arguments, and dread about tomorrow. Then they wonder why they wake up already exhausted. But here's what changes everything. You get to choose what is in that letter. And I'm going to show you exactly how, step by step. Starting with the most important thing first. Step 1. Use the 8-second reset. Tonight, right before you feel yourself drifting off, do not let your mind wander to whatever it wants. Instead, close your eyes and bring up one specific moment from your day that felt even slightly good. It does not need to be a big moment. It could be a good cup of coffee, a laugh you had, a moment of quiet that felt peaceful. Anything real. Now, hold that feeling, not the memory, the feeling, for 8 seconds. That is it. That is the trick. What you are doing is flooding your hypnagogic window with a positive emotional signal. Your brain picks that up, carries it into sleep, and uses it as the baseline for the entire night. Research published in the journal Current Biology confirmed that the emotional tone present during this window directly shapes the neural patterns your brain reinforces overnight. You are not just thinking happy thoughts, you are giving your brain a biological instruction. Now, the second step builds directly on this. And this is where the real brain chemistry gets fascinating. Step 2. Stop poisoning your serotonin without knowing it. You have probably heard of serotonin. Most people think of it as the happiness chemical. But it is actually your brain's primary mood stabilizer. It is what makes you wake up feeling calm, grounded, and ready for the day. Here is what almost nobody knows. Serotonin production spikes during REM sleep, your deep dream stage, but only when the emotional conditions going into sleep are positive. When you fall asleep anxious or stressed, your body shifts its priority to managing cortisol instead. Serotonin production drops, and you wake up depleted before the day even starts. This is why 2 people can sleep the exact same 7 hours, and one wakes up refreshed, while the other wakes up drained. It is not about the hours. It is about the chemistry happening inside those hours. The single biggest thing that spikes cortisol right before sleep, right before your hypnagogic window opens, is screen time. Your phone, your television, that blue light and that endless stream of information tells your nervous system to stay alert. It slams the door on serotonin production right when you need it most. So the action here is simple. Stop all screens at least 15 minutes before you do the 8-second reset. Now, Here is a crazy fact that stopped me completely when I first heard it, because it reframes everything I just told you. Your brain cannot tell the difference between something you vividly imagined and something that actually happened. Multiple neuroscience studies confirm this. When you visualize a positive emotional experience with enough detail, your brain activates the exact same neural pathways as if that experience was completely real. The neurons fire identically. The chemistry responds identically. This means the 8-second reset is not just a relaxation technique. You are creating actual neurological memories of positive emotional states, real ones. And your brain uses those memories to calibrate your mood when you wake up. You are literally rewriting the data your brain wakes up with every single night. Step 3. Use the anticipation technique. Researchers at the University of California, Berkeley, studied what happened when people did one specific thing before sleeping for 21 consecutive days. They did not change their diet. They did not exercise more. They did not meditate. They simply wrote down 3 things they were genuinely looking forward to the next day. Not things they were grateful for, things they were actually anticipating. Within 2 weeks, participants reported waking up with significantly higher energy and motivation. Brain scans showed increased dopamine receptor activity during morning hours. Here is why this works. Anticipation activates your dopamine system, and dopamine is not just the pleasure chemical, it is the motivation chemical. When your brain goes into sleep with a dopamine signal already active, it wakes up primed and ready to move toward something. The action is this. Keep a small notebook next to your bed. Each night before your 8-second reset, write 3 things you are actually looking forward to tomorrow. Small and real beats big and vague every single time. But the next step, this is where everything changes, because most people completely destroy their sleep quality without realizing it, and it has nothing to do with screens or stress. Step 4. Control the last conversation of your night. The last conversation you have before bed, whether with a partner, a family member, a friend, or even yourself through your own internal thoughts, sets the emotional tone that walks into your hypnagogic window with you. Research in social neuroscience shows that our brains treat interpersonal emotional experiences as extremely significant. A tense or unresolved exchange at 10 p.m. can override an otherwise solid day and send your brain into sleep carrying a stress signal that lasts all night. This does not mean you need to avoid hard conversations. It means you need to be intentional about how you close them. Even when a conversation has been difficult, end it with something that signals safety and connection. Something as simple as, "I love you," or "We will figure this out together," tells your nervous system that you are not in danger, and safety is the biological precondition for the kind of sleep that actually restores you. Make one rule starting tonight. No unresolved conflict right before bed. If something is unfinished, tell the other person you want to continue tomorrow with a clearer head. Then, do your 8-second reset and let your brain do the processing overnight. You will be shocked at how differently the same problem feels in the morning. Now, step 5 is the one I have been building toward this entire video. And once you understand this, everything else I have shared will make complete sense. Step 5. Understand sleep-dependent emotional processing. Here is something that neuroscience only began to fully understand in the last decade. While you sleep, your brain does not just store memories. It actively strips the emotional charge away from difficult experiences. Think of it like a filtration system. Your brain takes something painful or stressful from your day, keeps the information it needs, and reduces the emotional intensity attached to it. You wake up with the knowledge, but without the full weight. But this filtration system has a condition. It only works properly when you enter sleep in a relatively calm state. When you fall asleep in high stress, the filter gets bypassed. You wake up still feeling yesterday, sometimes even harder than the night before. This is why some of your worst mornings follow your most stressful nights. It is not bad luck. The filter was bypassed because the conditions were wrong. By using the 8-second reset to enter sleep in a positive, or at least neutral, emotional state, you are not escaping your problems. You are giving your brain the exact conditions it needs to properly process those problems while you sleep. Tomorrow morning, that situation that felt impossible at night will feel like something you can actually handle. This is why sleeping on a problem works. It was never just a saying. It was always neuroscience. Now, everything I have shared with you today is powerful on its own. But this final point, this is the one that ties it all together in a way most people never discover. It is called the threshold effect, identified by neuroscientist and sleep researcher Matthew Walker. Here is what his research found. The quality of your emotional state when you wake up is not determined by the whole night of sleep equally. It is determined almost entirely by the final 90 minutes, the last REM cycle just before waking. Even if your night was broken or shorter than you wanted, if that final sleep window is calm and uninterrupted, you can still wake up in a genuinely positive emotional state. The whole night matters, but the ending matters most. What destroys that final window most often? An alarm that rips you out of deep sleep, light flooding in too early, and most commonly, the background anxiety of knowing you have to wake up soon, which causes your brain to sleep lightly and restlessly in the final hour. The fix is simple. Set your alarm 20 minutes later than you think you need to. Use a gentle alarm, one that brightens gradually, or uses soft sound rather than a sudden blast. And if you ever wake up naturally before your alarm goes off, get up at that moment. Your brain is telling you it just completed the final REM cycle on its own. That natural waking feeling is your brain handing you a clean slate. Pair that with the 8-second reset the night before and the anticipation exercise, and you are no longer hoping for a good morning. You are building one deliberately.